Did you see The Good Doctor? This episode was off the hook. It was like a hopeless romantic meets a scary sci-fi. In this episode, you had people fighting for love and not giving up. And I'm all about that. And you have people who are afraid to live their life because they're afraid of their future. And you had couples in this episode wanting their spouses to do things against their morals. This is exactly what this episode was about. And you have Leah who cannot catch a break for nothing. She comes out of her apartment and her car is getting towed, alright? And she like, this is my parking spot. And she wants Shaun to back her up on what she is saying. And Shaun is not backing her up on it. He like, you know this is not your parking spot, girl. Alright? So stop it. And the man actually tows her car away. In the beginning, she would have had to pay $250. And the man upped the price to $350 for a hostile environment. I said, oh no, he didn't. I said, oh no, he didn't. Anybody that got their car towed away, it is easy to take away, but it is very hard to get it back. Dr. Glassman has a patient that is 21 named Jeffrey Williams, and he is dealing with a chronic inflammatory disease, and he is informing his team about his patient. He tells him how the patient loves baseball and his dream is to travel. I said I do not know too much about baseball. All I know about baseball are some of the players. You have Jackie Robinson, you have Darryl Strawberry, you have Sammy Sosa, Derek Jeter, and A-Rod. That's basically all I know. In the D-Train in Yankee Stadium. That's it. That's basically all I know. When they showed Jeffy back, I was like, oh my God. Did you see his back? It looked like a dried up reptile where his skin was clinging to his bone because he lost his fat, and looked like a bent up pretzel at the same time. That was crazy. And I said, somewhere in real life, somebody is actually going through this. I said, I give a shout out and my prayers go out to anybody that is sick. Because I know sickness is not easy to deal with at all. I already know that. And Jeffrey's plan is to travel the world, go to school, and be active with a girl because he has never done these things before. I said, can you imagine being alive and never doing the things that you ever wanted to? That is crazy to me. And I said, people should appreciate their life more because a lot of people is living way worse than you. Dealing with sickness is not an easy task. And you can always lose your faith and hope of getting better. You have one patient that has been in a coma named Danny for 10 years. The lady is actually in the hospital bed looking like Sleeping Beauty. Elias actually puts a mint on her pillow and whispers per la vida, which is per life, and kisses her forehead. And you have Dr. Murphy said repropotion, which he noticed that Danny's thumb had moved. Elias actually asked what that means. And Dr. Rednick said it doesn't mean anything because she don't want to give Elias false hope since he been coming to the hospital over the 10 years period. And Dr. Murphy think otherwise. He believes there is some life activity Danny, and Elias wants them to hook Danny back up to the machine. He don't want to hear nothing else. He like, if there is a possible of life, baby, hook my woman back up to that machine right now. And I love Elias. I love that the love that he had for Danny, and he is not willing to give up on her. And any doctor that is willing to tell you to give up on your loved one, I say continue to fight, because that's just me. I'm not going to give up. I don't believe in pulling a plug on somebody that is in a coma, because somebody can actually get out of the coma. I have known people who have been in a coma and actually survived and got out of the coma. And to me, if you ever visit somebody that's in a hospital, that's in a coma, never not speak. Always talk to the person in a coma, because the sound of your voice could bring that person back to life. Dr. Glassman is actually informing the team about Jeffrey disease, which is ankylosing spondylitis, which is a chronic inflammatory disease that affects the spine and other parts of the body, such as shoulder, knees, and pelvis, and can bring a lot of pain onto the body. At the age of 10, his bones began to infuse like one hard rock, not making him to be able to move. And I said, oh my God, there's someone in real life that's actually dealing with this disease. I said Dr. Glassman got super duper faith, or he just one crazy doctor, because he is taking on a case that nobody is willing to take on. And Jeffrey had 9 other doctors before Dr. Glassman, and they could not help him. Jeffrey tells the doctors about his future plan on how he want to get out of long-term care. He want to go to school. He want to travel Europe, and he want to be active with a girl, and he want to be able to hug someone. Could you imagine being alive and not able to do those things? And I said, what are we complaining about? Some people can't even do the simplest thing as tie their shoe, move their body in the way they want to. I say every day that we get up, we got to count our blessings. Because somewhere in the world, there are people who are less fortunate than us. And this show has bring that to the limelight. Like, yo, what am I complaining about? Because there's people in real life dealing with this sickness. Alright? Dr. Glassman actually needs residents to actually assist him on the surgery, and he want to know who wants to help him on the surgery, and all the residents want to help him with this surgery. Dr. Resnick is explaining how it took her 10 years to convince Elias to take his significant other, Danny, off life support. And she felt like the man should not put his life on hold, and he should live his life and should not be living in fantasy land that his significant other is going to come back to life. And she wants Dr. Murphy to tell Elias that the movement of the thumb is nothing. And Dr. Murphy actually disagrees with Dr. Resnick, and he feel like there is some like activity in Danny, and he gonna make sure it's otherwise, because he gonna get a second opinion with Dr. Lim. Alright? And Dr. Resnick don't want him to do it. She like, oh no you not. He like, oh yes I am. I'm going to go right to Dr. Lim and get a second opinion. Dr. Glassman is actually putting the residents to the test on who he's going to choose to assist him with the surgery. And the residents have to do a practice surgery on putting a spine together. And he actually chose Claire because she did an amazing job. So she is part of the team. And he actually chooses Noah because he explained the improv of his surgery. And he did a 3 constructor collar surgery to the spine. And Dr. Glassman was actually impressed on the improv of the spine. And Dr. Park was not pleased because he did not get chosen. He don't know why. And he was highly disappointed in what he was doing wrong and why he did not be part of the team. I say he gonna have to figure that out, but you will see later he does figure it out. And him To me, that was a message of him not getting picked. A lot of people who don't get picked or chosen, they happen to develop low self-esteem, and it shouldn't have to be that way. Because you was not picked or chosen does not mean you're not good enough. You're good enough. You just have to practice on your craft. If you're doing doctor work and spine work or whatever else you're doing. Dr. Andrews is in the office and he think Dr. Glassman is crazy. He can't wrap his mind around on why Dr. Glassman chose this case when nobody is willing to take on this case. And Dr. Andrews think he knows Dr. Glassman. He like, you doing this out of fear because you a cancer survivor. Dr. Glassman actually checks Dr. Andrews. He like, you don't know me from Adam from Eve, baby. We don't even talk at work and we don't talk out of work. He says, stay in your lane because you don't know nothing about me and I don't know nothing about you. Okay, Dr. Glassman did not come to play. All right, with Dr. Andrews. And to me, Dr. Andrews seemed like a low-key hater of a co-worker. Because you have never seen something be done does not mean it can't be done. Like, I'm just saying. Like, what is that? You just never found the right person to master it. Okay? Leah is in the office. She is mad at Shaun. And let me tell you, she was like, I am mad at you and I'm disappointed because you did not support me. And my girl is going to war with the tow company. She is creating fake accounts to bring him down. She like, I'm going to extort him like he extorted me. They say it ain't no fairy like a woman scorned. Let me tell you, baby, Leah is not having it. And Shaun don't want no part of this. She want his phone to create another fake account. Okay? And Shaun surprisingly actually gave her the phone. And he just slightly exit out. Like, no questions asked. Shaun got the hell out of there, alright? You have all the 3 doctors in the room performing a CAT scan on Danny to see what is going on while her thumb moves. And they don't see nothing at one point, and then they find out that Danny actually has a tumor which caused the movement of the thumb. And Dr. Murphy asks a good question. He asks, is there a time limit of being a good partner? And also, to actually having ethical limits. And both doctors know they talking about Leah. Because they like, what have Leah done now? And Dr. Rednick believed that whether she's wrong or not, you should support your spouse. And I disagree with Dr. Rednick. I feel like if you love your spouse, you should be able to communicate whether your partner is wrong or not. And if your partner wants you to do something against your comfort zone or your morals, speak up for yourself, okay? Because if their partner truly loves you, they will not have you do anything that you did not want to do. That's just my opinion. If they truly love you. I'm all about supporting people, but it all depends what the situation is. The team of doctors is preparing Jeffrey on the pros or cons of his surgery. If his surgery do not go well, he could lose a lot of blood and even die. If his surgery is a success, he will have limited movement and he will have to depend on a walker. After hearing what the doctors have to say, Jeffrey actually changes his mind and don't want to go through with the surgery. And all of the doctors in the room is looking at each other like, what is going on here? I like, no, he did not. After all the preparation we have done, research and stuff like that, you telling me we're not going through with this surgery? That's how they looking at each other. No, he did not. Just changed his mind. Okay. Dr. Murphy and Dr. Reddit explains to Elias that the reason she moved her thumb is due to the cancer, and he want to know if the cancer is treatable. And they give him his options that they could remove the cancer, but she would have a short period of time to live, or she could actually die on the operating table. Elias is fighting for his woman, and he is not giving up hope. He said, if you don't do something different, how can you see change? And I thought that was powerful right there. Because that's like in life, if you don't try, how can you know what the result could be? And I really didn't like Dr. Rednick in this episode, trying to convince a loved one to pull the plug on somebody they love. Let me tell you, a coma means you have low life activity. Does not mean you're dead. You could come back from a coma. Never pull a plug on somebody that's in a coma. That's just my opinion. Dr. Glassman actually visited Jeffrey to give him his discharge papers, but he actually have a conversation about him, about baseball, about a real professional baseball player named Gates Brown. How many of y'all are familiar of Gates Brown, a real black professional ball player who actually played for the Detroit Tigers? And in real life, Gates Brown had a troubled youth where he actually did time and went to jail, and a prison guard actually encouraged him to join a baseball team, and that's how he got his start to fame of becoming a professional baseball player. This is why I say there are good people in law enforcement. It is sad that the bad law enforcement outweigh the good law enforcement, and you don't get to see the good that people do in the lives they change in law enforcement, because the prison guard actually pushed Gates Brown to become successful. If he did not join that team, he would have not became a professional baseball player. And Dr. Glassman expressed, when things get tough for him, he always asks himself, what would Gates Brown do in this situation? Dr. Glassman reveals to Jeffrey, do you think Gates Brown didn't have fears when he came out of prison to relearn this world? Dr. Glassman is getting on Jeffrey. He said, sign the paper because you really don't want to do it. But do not sign the paper because you're afraid to live your life and that the surgery will succeed. Okay? And all Jeffrey is doing is making up excuses, because even though he bent over like a pretzel, he could have did online schooling if he wanted to go back to school. He could have traveled the world or went somewhere. I don't know. Jeffrey tells him at the age of 5 he was getting 13 shots in his back. Never been with a woman, and actually never had a best friend. Dr. Glassman says, sign the discharge paper because you think it's the right decision, but do not sign the discharge paper because you're afraid to live. And I said, we could all relate to this in some kind of way, whether we healthy or sick. Sometimes we get in our own way because we are afraid of success. And we are our own downfall when it comes to being successful, because we are afraid to live our best life. And what is to come for us? We don't know what is to come for us for the future. The future is our unknown, and we are afraid of the unknown. And I think that's a real thing. It's a real thing for everybody. That's just my opinion. To me, Dr. Glassman telling the story about Gates Brown was a message to me. I feel like God talking about being unspiritually yoked is a real thing. Because when you partner up with the right people and you got the right support, you could do anything and you're out of this world when you got the right support. But when you hook up with the wrong people, they could be your downfall and you can't even see it. Danny is on the operating table and the doctors are talking about their personal life. Dr. Murphy think he is committing fraud, and Dr. Allen actually gives Dr. Murphy good advice. If your spouse or partner has you participate in something that you don't feel comfortable doing, shut it down. And I do agree with that. I agree with that 100%. And Dr. Lim actually chimes in. They say if your person can't see what's right, show them the way on what is right. And Dr. Murphy said Leah is not crazy. And Dr. Allen actually says we all got some crazy in us. And I do agree. I call a lot of people crazy because I think a lot of people are crazy. But I think you got good crazy and you got bad crazy. And I said I hope in real life, doctors is not really talking about their personal lives while they operating on people. And this scene was straight out of a scary sci-fi. Dr. Allen noticed something and told Dr. Lim to look. And all you see Danny's face is open. Her eyes are just looking at the doctors. And you see a silent scream. OMG. I said the good doctor is trying to give me nightmares. Can you just imagine being on the operating table and you wake up and you scream because you're in pain because your insides are open? OMG. Wouldn't that give you nightmares for days? I know it would give me nightmares for days. Oh my God. Like, I can't just imagine that. Waking up on the operating table and you're in pain. Lord have mercy. I said, Lord help us all. Oh my God. Oh my God. Danny is awake and she's back in her room. And she's actually eating the chocolate mints that Elias is given to her. At this point, they removed the cancer from Danny and she's having normal brain activity. Danny wanted to know why she woken up during the surgery. And Dr. Rednick tried to explain and Elias ain't trying to hear it. He like, damn, can you be quiet? Damn, can we just have a moment that isn't just a miracle? You and your freaking explanation for everything. Elias just want to have a moment with his girl. And I love this character because he is a man that's not willing to give up on his true love. He is fighting for her life. And you really see this in real life. You have women that are sick and their spouse be messing with another woman like before they even did. And even if they did die, they already found somebody else. Elias is Danny's true love. Okay? And I said this is a true love story that I did not even know existed. And I think it's a beautiful thing. If there's real love like this in real life, I said God bless people who would actually experience this. Dr. Glassman and his team is operating on Jeffrey and complications is beginning to happen. And here they go, the doctors having their conversations about their personal life, about their relationship, about their mother. Noah talking about he never ate a cheeseburger. The lady talking about her mom taught her a lot of things and they was never close though. I'm like, OMG. I cannot with their personal life and operating right now. They giving me some high anxiety right now about talking about their life while somebody's body is open. Okay? I just can't deal with this. Oh my God. Dr. Park is actually in the lunchroom trying to figure out what he did wrong about his practice surgery. And Dr. Rednick make him realize what he did wrong. And he actually got it. And he was happy about it. And that actually built his self-esteem up just a little bit because he caught on to it. When you have the right person to teach to you, you will catch it and your self-esteem will go higher. And you have the right person helping you. Jeffrey is still facing complications. His pressure is dropping and his heart is crashing. Doctor's trying to figure out what's going on with Jeffrey at this moment. Dr. Murphy figures out why Danny woke up on the operating table, and he says because the paramaliga actually filled up with dopamine, which means when the capsule ruptures, the tumor actually filled up with dopamine, which was enough to wake her up. Dr. Rarick think it was a freak of events. The doctors know that Danny is going to be awake for less than 24 hours because when the dopamine wears off her brain, she is going to go back into her coma or she is going to die. They actually tell Elias this, and Elias ain't trying to hear what they trying to say. Elias like, will you get out my face with this, son? Elias actually looks into Danny's eyes and hold her close. He like, you not going nowhere. I'm not gonna let you go. As he looks into his eyes and you see tears coming from his eyes, I like, oh my God. This love is such a greater love that I have not known. But only from my Jesus and my mama. That's it. The doctors are in the operating room with Jeffrey, and Jeffrey is still having complications. They trying to figure out what is going on. He is not having a heart attack. The fluid is not going to his heart properly, and his legs is actually swollen. And Dr. Andrews feel like we have to reverse the surgery. And Dr. Glassman is like trying to figure it out. He actually walks away and have a moment to himself, and boom, he figures it out. You have Dr. Regnick going into Danny's room, telling her how she know about her favorite movie, where she traveled to, because Elias told her everything about her. And Dr. Regnick brings Danny a paper which she wants her to sign because it's not fair for Elias to hold on for so long and he got to move to his life. And if it was truly true love, you would allow him to move on. And it's actually a don't resuscitate paper that she wants Danny to sign. Dr. Glassman actually walks away, and in that moment of silence while he thinking, something hits him. He says, Paulus extractavium, a person that is born with a big dent in their chest cavity that is so bad that the breastplate is pressing against the heart, that you have to break away at the stratum, and you got to crack open the ribs with a metal bar to create enough space in the chest. So they close him up and turn him around. Danny is in the room telling Elias that I signed the DNR, don't resuscitate. And Elias is looking at the doctor. You did this, didn't you? You did this. Yeah. And Danny said, have you ever went to Costa Rica? Because that's Elias' dream to ever go to Costa Rica. And she said, how did that ever work out? Well, she encouraged him to live. If she ever have to go, she want him to live out his dreams. And I think that is beautiful because you see two lovers. One don't want to let the person go. The other one is telling them, you have to let me go. Okay? So beautiful. And then you see Danny close her eyes and then you hear a beep. Danny has transcended to heaven. She is no longer here. Elias brushes her hair and whispers, per Melita, per life to her as he kisses her forehead. Oh my God. If that's not romantic, then I don't know what the hell is. That scene was romantic. You actually get to see true love. Mate, that was true love. Mate, I like, oh my God. I never seen anything like this in my life. And I said that was God's way of waking her up to say her final goodbyes to her soulmate. Because she actually says that to Dr. Regnick, that she was a lucky woman because she found her soulmate. Jeffrey's surgery was a success. Jeffrey looked good with the bandages. He was sitting up straight with the walker. Everybody was happy. They clapping because it went well. And Dr. Glassman want him to stand. And Jeffrey is afraid to stand up because he's afraid to fall. And Glassman actually commands him to use the walker to stand. And he actually does it. When Jeffrey is standing with the walker, he hands out his hands to Glassman, to Dr. Glassman, and actually hugs him. I thought that was beautiful. Let me tell you, anybody that saved your life, you owe a dedication to them. I don't care. Always say, to me, I just would like to say thank you. Thank you for saving my life. I will always have gratitude to you saving my life. When everybody doubted, Dr. Glassman believed in himself. He believed in his instincts. He knew he could do it, and he actually did it. And if that is not an inspiration there, then I don't know what is. Shaun and Leah actually goes to the towing company to get the car, but it's after hours. And the towing man is tripping. And Leah is going off on him. So Shaun said, we going to pay that money because Leah is still on that extortion power. Talking about she going to take him down. And Shaun like, no, we going to pay. And he dropped the book bag. And he has the keys on the book bag. And this scene was freaking hilarious to me. Because I didn't know what Shaun was doing. Yo, all you see his fingers moving like this. Like this. Behind his back. I thought it was funny. I thought he was doing broke down sign language at this point. And Leah is confused. What the hell he talking about? What he doing? I was confused on what he was doing and what he was trying to do. And Leah is just looking at the book bag and the keys while he going inside the office with the tow man. Alright? And Leah actually picks it up and gets it. She picks up the book bag and the keys and get in the car. While Shaun is in the office and hear that Leah is in the car, he runs out of the office and like, drive away, drive away, drive away. Yo, I thought that scene was everything, son. Yo, it was freaking hilarious. Leah was actually happy in that moment. It made her happy. Alright? So when they get home, okay, Leah thinks Shaun stiffed the man. He said, no, I did not stiff the man. I wanted to show you what was right. I paid the man $250, which was fair. And I love how Shaun did it to prove that Leah was acting crazy. But there was a reason why Leah was acting crazy. Shaun and Leah is having a baby. Leah is pregnant. Okay, there is a bundle of joy coming on the way. And I'm looking forward for this new baby to arrive to this show. I'm so excited for the new bundle of joy. And the pregnancy actually scared Leah, because she don't know what to do. This is going to be both their first baby, their first child. And Leah is just scared. That's why she was acting erotic and crazy at the same time, because she is scared of the future and how the baby is going to change their lives. And then you have Noah and Claire at a restaurant, and Noah actually eats a cheeseburger for the first time. Claire actually performs on the stage, and she sings this beautiful song. I said, she has a beautiful voice. I'm like, you better go, lady, while she playing the guitar. And I loved it. And Dr. Andrews believed in Dr. Glassman more and gave his cases over to Dr. Glassman. He said we need more crazy people in this world to do the impossible. And I believe that. I believe that. As Jesus speaks unto Lazarus to come forth and rise. Speak unto your dreams as Jesus did to Lazarus. Tell your dreams to awaken. Tell your dreams to arise. Dreams, I need you to come alive. Speak life into your dreams. Speak life into what you want to come alive in your life. Never give up on what you believe in. And I say you are spectacular. Continue to believe and continue to shine. And I want to thank you for listening.